So when we talk about CSS properties, what exactly are we talking about? What exactly are we talking about? So CSS properties are CSS properties are just like your tags, right? So let me just explain it, and maybe we'll have to like do writing. We'll have to write code another day, maybe on Friday. I'm just going to do some explanations. I think my skill for today is already ruined. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to talk about CSS properties. I'm going to explain everything that I need to explain. On Friday, we write code. Then an hour or 30 minutes, 1 hour, 30 minutes. I'll just give us a quick project to work on. So like just a quick this thing to work on. And maybe we can use that time as you are working on the project. We can use that time to now probably explain the basics to our newcomers here. So on Friday we'll have more time for more projects. So all right, moving on. CSS properties. What are CSS properties? CSS properties are they're just similar to your HTML tags. What are HTML tags? Let me ask. What are HTML tags? Good output content on your web page with HTML, right? Now your CSS properties they have similar rules. What they just do is that they are basically used in styling up your HTML content. Now CSS is what we use in styling HTML, right? CSS properties are now those properties that eventually do the styling. You understand it now? So let me give an example. Please look at your screen. Let me give an example. So you have your P tag here, right? In your P tag, can you see color of green? Yes. Good. Now that color of green is known as your what? Property. So your color is your property. The green is the value of your property. Does that make sense? So your color is your property. That's the styling. The green is now the value you give to your property. You understand? Just leave the value and just understand that your color is your property. So I'm trying to say that okay, this particular P tag, which is an HTML element, has to change from a color of black to a color of green. So the text color is going to change from black to green. That is now what? That is basically what your styling is. Do you understand it now? So that is basically what your CSS property means. So your CSS property are those properties that eventually style up your HTML content just to make them look better and look good. So now, also in this place, you have background. So the background is basically changing was the background of your content. So we're going to talk about some basic CSS properties that we have. So first that we're talking about background color. We've talked about background. We'll talk about color. We'll talk about font size, font family, text decoration, text alignment, height, width, padding, and margin, which will lead us into CSS box model. So let me just list them out. So we'll talk about background. We'll talk about colors. We'll talk about backgrounds, not background, because we have a lot of background. We'll talk about color. We'll talk about fonts. We'll talk about fonts, and under fonts, you will be talking about font family. I hope you are seeing it. Can you see my screen? Let me try and connect to my phone. My phone is even almost dead. Okay, you can see it now. Can you see my code? Yes. You can see my code? Yes. Okay, but you can't see my code. That's the problem. Network is good. So now we're going to talk about font family. We're going to talk about font family. We'll talk about font width. Then we'll talk about font style. right? Then I think there's one more. Font size. Yeah, we'll talk about font size. So we'll be talking about this four, is it 4 elements or 5? 4 elements under fonts. Then we'll talk about text alignment. Then we'll talk about text decoration. Then after that, we'll talk about height. We've talked about height before, but let's just do it again. We'll talk about height, we'll talk about width, then CSS box model, we'll talk about padding and margin. So these are everything I'll be talking about. Supposed to be today, but I think we can still talk about it. Can you see my screen now, Mr. David? Okay. So now let us move on. So I'm going to explain backgrounds again and color to us. So if you are not able to see the screen, please bear with us. I don't know, maybe power is having issues. So hopefully it's not going to be like this on Friday. So now, what exactly do we mean by backgrounds when we talk about CSS? So when we talk about backgrounds, right, we're talking about the background of whatever element it is you're trying to write. So if you go to some websites, go.com, I don't want to use go.com. Let's use Instagram. If you go to Instagram.com now, what is the background of Instagram? If you're on light mode, what's your background? Use Instagram, Abi. What's the background you see on Instagram? Check it, it's fine. If you're on light mode, if you're on dark mode, you have two different backgrounds. You're on dark mode. That means you have a dark background, right? That means if you're on light mode, you have a lighter background. Do you understand now? That is background. You understand? So the thing that every other element is placed on top is your background. So if you check the background, basically it is what? Black or dark. Black. Let's just say black. You understand now? It's a dark background. Now, the reason for all of this is that backgrounds are very important in CSS. Backgrounds are like the basis of every single thing that's going to be on your website. So if you go to TechEd website now, what exactly is the background? So you see that it is probably going to be like a lighter background. Then the header is probably not going to have images as a background. That's what I'm saying, backgrounds. So backgrounds in CSS is not just limited to colors. You can have colors and you can also have images as your background. You understand it now? So that is why I'm saying background. Now, when we talk about backgrounds now, we now have different background elements or background properties in CSS. You have a background color, you have a background image, you have, let me just write it down. So you have background colors, you have background color, and which one? You have background image. Right? You have, can you see what I'm writing? Okay. Is it? Okay. You have background color, you have background image, you have background size, the size of background images that you want to use as a background. You have background position, but I wish we have power now. We have background position, right? To position your background, the background where you want them to be. So now that's basically what your backgrounds are. Then when we move to colors, again, we're going to talk about all of these things. It is just me explaining what they are. Now, if we don't end up doing it today, if we don't end up doing all of these things today, you already know what I'm about to say. So what I'm going to like advise you to do is, I'm not giving an assignment, just advice. Go back and try to understand these things before the next class on Friday. That's my advice. So that this class is not going to, in Mr. David's words, it's not going to be as hard as the backend issue that he's facing right now. So just go back, try to like, just read on it. You don't have to do much, just read on it. So now, when we talk about color, color is basically the text color. So I think we've done this already. So your text color, the kind of colors that you want your text to have, it's going to be black, it's going to be green, it's going to be blue, yellow, orange, indigo, violet, rainbow color, anyone. What exactly how exactly do you want your text to look like? That's basically what colors are. That's just what colors do. Then we talk about fonts, right? Font is, I mean, of us have probably used what MS Word or PDF. Have you used it before? No, MS Word, Microsoft Word. Have you tried to like edit any Word document before? Or you start on? Have you tried to do something like that before? You've done it before, right?
Yes.
You've done it before too. Good. Now, doing things like that, you notice that you change fonts. So that you have a lot of fonts. You have Georgia, Times New Roman, what's it again?
Sans
Sans
serif,
serif. Good. A
very
lot of those things.
script.
Okay, wow. Looks like you have a very good experience
I'm
doing
graphic
it.
designer.
Okay, yeah, graphic designer. Nice. So now that is basically what fonts are. So fonts are basically determine how your text look like. Now, they determine how big your text is going to look, how stylish it's going to look, how thick it's going to look, how thin it's going to look. Then they also determine how, is it going to be italic? I think there's something called this italic or bold. I've actually forgotten now. All of these things are in MS Word. But that's basically what the font does for you. Then moving on, you have text alignments. Text alignment basically talks about alignment of your text. Are you going to align it to the left, to the right, or to the center? That's what text alignment does for you. So, naturally in HTML, all your text will move to the left. You've noticed it starts from the left, right, left, right. So text alignment is now going to like change that for you. Are you going to move your text to the center? Or are you going to move your text to the right? Or are you going to leave it to the left? That's what text alignment is going to for you. Text decoration works with someone trying to join. Text decoration works with okay. Text decoration basically works with links. So it does not only links, it works with anything text. But basically what it does is that it helps you decorate your text. So do you want to have an underline on your text? Do you want to have an overline on your text? Do you want to have a line through your text, or you want your text to be colored? So if you notice, your links are naturally colored, blue or deep blue, one of those two. So you have those two colors. So now you can now choose to remove the decoration by giving it none, right? It's going to remove that underline on every of your links. I think we'll get all of this. But that's basically what text decoration does for you. Height determines how, high a particular element is going to be. Width determines how wide or how thin it's going to be. Then we have padding and margin. I think I've been able to explain everything I will talk about. So, so that will be all for now. I think my system is even low. So miraculously, if this light is on, we'll be able to like do more things. But for now, I'm just going to give us something very, very quick to work on.